Hello and welcome to the United Community Channel. My name is Jack and this is your latest Manchester United news and transfer news. And it's all about centre-backs today. It's all about centre-backs. Manchester United have been linked with a number of different centre-backs over the past couple of weeks, couple of months you could even say. But today we've got some very strong indications that United are pushing for two specifically. So we're going to talk about that. But as always, there's plenty of news, guys. We want to talk a little bit also about potential outgoing centre-backs as well. And a current Manchester United centre-back has been offered to an Italian club. So we'll speak about that. Johnny Evans, it looks like, is going to get a new deal at Manchester United. And there's polarising opinions online about, whether this should be the case or not. Again, get your comments in below as always. We are being linked with a left back as well. And this has come directly from Fabrizio Romano saying that United are going to go out and try and get a left back this summer. We'll talk about who we're being linked with there as well. Casemiro looks like he's gone. Reports are suggesting that he's already said goodbye to his teammates. We'll speak about that a little bit. And I want to talk, of course, then a little bit at the very end about Erik Ten Hag. Still no update, as always. But as always, guys, please do smash a like on the video if you haven't done so already. Do hit subscribe if you are new to the channel. We're on the road to 10,000 subscribers, less than 100 away. So if you haven't already subscribed, please do. It helps the channel out like you wouldn't believe. And as you can see here, we've got merchandise as well. So go check that out. Am I too bright or am I'm about right. Okay, perfect. But yeah, get your comments in as always, guys. Interactive show, and I want to get through as many of your comments as I possibly can. So let's jump straight into it, and we're going to start with the news breaking today of two Manchester United, potential Manchester United targets at the centre-back area. We're going to start here with Sporting Lisbon. They expect Manchester United's transfer proposal in the coming days. Now, this is in relation to Inacio. Now, this goes through a number, or this actual report speaks about both defenders that we're being linked with. Today alone, we have had two reports around the continent suggesting Manchester United are preparing proposals for two different centre-backs. The first report suggests United have moved ahead of Real Madrid in the race for Lille defender Leny Yoro. It is understood that Yoro, 18, has been asked to wait for Real Madrid. Another report from Portugal claims United are preparing a proposal for Gonçalo Inacio, with Sporting Lisbon holding out for €60 million, which would activate the player's release clause. The same report adds that United will be able to negotiate a deal with Sporting involving an agreement to issue the payment in installments over some time, which is good, of course, to the fact that, we haven't got, a massive amount of money in the kitty at the moment. It helps good relations exist between the two clubs, built since 2003 with the transfer of Ronaldo, then again with Nani, Rojo, and most recently Bruno Fernandes. Sporting are expecting a proposal from United in the coming days. Inacio, who has been linked with a summer move to Liverpool, is under contract until June 2027. The report also goes on to say in the past 2 seasons, Inacio has played 108 matches for club and country. This is a big bonus given how many of our defenders endured long periods in the treatment room last year. And that's good. That's absolutely great news because, the last thing you want to be doing is going out for a defender who, can't play that amount of games in the season. Now, look, I do know that the Premier League absolutely is a lot more physical and a lot more strenuous than the Portuguese league is. But the fact that we're getting a player and being linked with a player that can potentially play 40 plus games, 50 plus games in a season, it's good, because we want to be getting to the latter stages of every competition that we're in. But I want to talk first and foremost about Inacio. Look, this is a big opportunity for Manchester United here. Like I said, and we've mentioned this on a number of occasions over the past couple of years, the fact that he's got a release clause is really, really good. Now, €60 million, you're talking about 52, 53 million pounds sterling. Now, for a centre-back with the quality of Gonçalo Inacio, I think it's a very good deal. I think it is a very good deal. What age is he again? Let me check. I don't know if it says it here. No, it doesn't say it. I'll check it in a minute. But the fact that Manchester United have good links with Sporting, of course, like it's mentioned there, absolutely will help our cause when we're going out and looking to broker a deal for a player, let alone the negotiating a fee. I don't know what wiggle room Sporting Lisbon have in relation to this player. Are they going to accept a bid less than the release clause? I don't know. Sometimes that can be the case. However, when you have multiple clubs interested in a player, they tend not to negotiate. They say, look, there's more players or there's more clubs interested in this player. Either you trigger his release clause or we're not accepting any bids from you. Now, that release clause has no expiry date on it this summer, so it will have to be triggered, I reckon, given the fact that we're seeing the likes of Liverpool being interested in him as well. Young Sauce is saying he's 22. There you go. Absolute prime. In his absolute prime. Coming into his prime, you would say. So, look, really, really good opportunity, like I said here, for Manchester United to go out and get a really good centre-back, an up-and-coming centre-back. And the fact that Sporting are potentially open to instalment deal is something that is vitally important for Manchester United this summer. And it is something that we need to be looking to do a lot more of. If we're getting, let's say it's 60 million, okay, that we're saying, if Manchester United go, look, we'll give you 30 now and we'll give you the next 30 in 10 million installments over the next 3 years, or you could even say, look, we'll add in some, incentives, that easy targets. Once he reaches, 50 Premier League games, we'll give you another 10 million and that'll reach the 60 million, so on and so forth. These kind of little small negotiation deals are very important for us this summer, because it's not going to be an easy transfer window in terms of finances. Look, we know that FFP is not really an issue with us now because we didn't do any business in the summer transfer window. We are also losing a hell of a lot of wages off of the expenditure bill at Manchester United. The issue is that we don't have an awful lot of money to spend. We're talking probably about 100 million to spend. That is before we go out and sell any of our players. So, being able to do a deal with Sporting Lisbon for a player of this guy's standards and working it over installments, I think is vitally important. And I think it's something that, we should be looking at an awful lot more. Sometimes, clubs are happy to do that. You're talking about some clubs that, also have to keep in mind financial fair play as well. And, if they're getting installments of, let's say, 10 million over the next 3 years each year, then that will help them each year towards their financial fair play targets as well. So, look, I mean, absolutely great to see. Look, we've also seen here as well, Manchester United are set to challenge for Real Madrid target Leny Yoro with a huge bid. Now, if anybody, okay, and we spoke about this last night, if anybody is under any illusion that INEOS and Manchester United and the board in general are not working on deals in the background, you're just completely naive. You're completely naive. Work is happening behind the scenes. I know we're still waiting on Erik Ten Hag, but we are working on deals behind the scenes. Inacio, Yoro, Neves, bids gone in for Neves already. Bids coming for Yoro and for Inacio. So work is being done in the background. Now, Leny Yoro is a player of high value, of high potential, and he is on a lot of clubs' radars. Let's go down through it here. Real Madrid have been strongly linked to Lille defender Leny Yoro, who has been earmarked as perhaps the most promising talent of his generation. The 18-year-old French centre-back is keen to move this summer, but Manchester United have emerged as favourites for his services. Originally, Paris Saint-Germain were Los Blancos' largest competitors, having had a bid turned down in January. Lille are reportedly demanding €60 million for his services, excuses despite having just a year on his contract. Real Madrid, conscious of his contractual situation, are not willing to get drawn into a bidding war and will not bid more than 40 million euro, including variables. According to Marca, Manchester United are willing to meet Lille's demands and vastly outbid Real Madrid in their contract offer for Yoro. His preference has always been Real Madrid, but if United can persuade Yoro into the move, then Lille would clearly rather accept a bid from the Red Devils. Real Madrid have maintained contact with Yoro and are still keen on signing him, but have told the defender that they must turn down better offers if he wants to play for Real. That he must turn down better offers if he wants to play for Real Madrid. Meanwhile, Yoro watched Manchester United lift the FA Cup 2 weeks ago at Wembley, after which he met with the director. So far, Yoro has not accepted their offer, but it remains to be seen whether that will still be the case come the end of the summer. So basically, Real Madrid are doing what Real Madrid do. They're saying to this guy, look, hold out for one more year. And they're basically doing with Yoro what they've done with Mbappe. See out your contract, because we want to take you on a free next summer, and we'll guarantee you, that you will come to us. Now, look, this guy, from the little bit of research that I've done on him, and the, some of the clips that I've seen online, I think it's quite clear that this guy is up there with some of the best up-and-coming young centre-backs in the world at the moment. It's quite clear. I think, you don't have the likes of Real Madrid sniffing around and, asking him to see out his contract, and so they can potentially get him on a free, because, it just doesn't... That doesn't happen when you're talking about an 18-year-old. And we know that Real Madrid are future planning at the moment. They've changed tactics slightly. They've moved away from the Galacticos signings with big transfer fees. We've seen the likes of Mbappe going on a free. And they're signing the likes of Endrick. They're signing Tchouaméni, Camavinga, Rodrigo, a few years back, even Vinicius Jr., these types of players. And this guy, I think, is the next piece in the puzzle that Real Madrid would like to have. For this guy, 60 million for an 18-year-old is a lot of money. It is a lot of money. And do I think it's too much? Right now, probably it is. And I think, Real Madrid tend not to get their valuations too wrong too often. 40 million, I think, is a good deal for him. And the one, I suppose, positive that Manchester United will have here is Real Madrid are not going to go over 40 million. Okay, why go to 60 if you're Manchester United? Because I think Real Madrid are quite happy to wait until next year and get him on a free. He's got 1 year left on his deal. So there is a bit of advantage leaning towards Manchester United's favour here, because Lille are not going to want to lose him on a free next year. So if they can get 40, 50 million for him this summer, and that's euros, then I think they'll accept. Again, this would be something I would like to see in installments. However, what I'm leaning towards with this is, for once, I want Manchester United to sign the next best player in a certain position. It just gives me flashbacks of 2008 when we missed out on Varane when he went to Real Madrid that time. We've seen it on multiple occasions. We've seen Toni Kroos, for example, choose Real Madrid over Manchester United. It's happened so many times down through the years. For once, I want Manchester United to be the ones to sign the best up-and-coming player in the world. And this guy certainly is one of them players in his position. So, look, like I said, be under no confusion here. Work is going on in the background. The agency that this guy is under, their representatives have been at Carrington today. Now, him, João Neves, I think Inacio, and there's one other player, are all under the same agent are all under the same umbrella. For the same agency. So Manchester United are working on deals in the background. And I know, on the live last night, a lot of people were getting frustrated, that nothing is happening and nothing is, we're waiting to hear on Erik ten Hag, which I do agree with is massively frustrating, and there's no update on it, by the way. There is work going on in the background. And, it's quite clear that the more I see these types of stories, just to touch on Erik ten Hag a little bit, the more I hear these types of stories about, INEOS and Yoro and Neves and United going strong for them, the more I think Erik ten Hag may well be at the club next season, because these are the areas that he has pinpointed that need improving. Now, for example, he's on holidays at the moment. I think I read today he's in Ibiza, partying it up like it's 1999. And who's to say that Erik ten Hag hasn't just gone to the board and gone, I need 2 centre-backs, I need a CDM, and I need a centre-forward. They're my priorities, and if you can get me them, then I need potentially another centre midfielder, and I need a right winger, or a right back, or a left back, whatever it may be. And he goes on holidays. He goes on holidays, takes these 2 weeks. Work is going on in the background to start working on deals and negotiating with these types of players. And when Ten Hag gets back from his holidays, he goes, right, look, we've got you this guy, we've got you that guy, we've potentially got you this one. Which one would you like us to go for? So I think the fact that we're identifying and starting negotiations with players in the areas that Ten Hag has said he wants, I think can only be a positive in terms of him keeping his job. Let's see what you're saying here in the comment section, guys. We'll go through some of it. Let's see. Oshin says Leny Yoro has an option, Madrid or Manchester, Champions League versus Europa. Well, let me play devil's advocate here for a minute, Oshin. Is he, as an 18-year-old, going to go to Real Madrid and play, on the regular? Probably not. Does he come to Manchester United and play on the regular? I still think he would probably come to us and be a backup. I do think he probably would. If we look at the position he plays in, obviously he's a right centre-back. Do you bring an 18-year-old to Manchester United and put him into the, as your first choice right-sided centre-back straight away? Probably not. So I think this guy is a guy that we can drip feed into the team over the next year or two. And, if you're going out and getting a second centre-back, the likes of, INEOS that we touched on there, then, I think it's a good thing. But I don't necessarily think this guy would, now again, I'm speaking for him, even though I probably shouldn't. Would he mind 1 year in the Europa League at 18 years of age? If he's got good people around him, advising him well, then I don't think that would be too big of an issue. But again, that remains to be seen. We did hear by the report that Real Madrid is his first choice. But if they're not willing to budge over 40 million and we come in with a bid higher than that, then United, here we come. Let's see. Chris says, no to Yoro, too young. Hate that line, vastly outbid in contract terms. Yeah, well, look, I'm going to do this again tonight. Pinch of salt, because I think Manchester United and outbid in contract terms is just something that journalists have saved in a folder, copy and paste it in, copy and paste it in, copy and paste it in. And look, we've heard that, INEOS are going to really rein in the salary and what they're offering players and new players coming in. So, look, I don't know. We don't know what Real Madrid were going to offer him in the contract. You know what I mean? They haven't offered a bid for him yet, in terms of, an amount they're willing to pay for the club or for the player to the club. So how do we know what they're going to actually offer in terms of wages? So, pinch of salt on that one. Laser says, Jack, I like the sound of Gonzalo Inacio. He's tall, broad and strong. He's only 22 years old, so still young and more career ahead. And I think, for me, a perfect Varane replacement. Yeah, I agree, absolutely. If I'm leaning towards, I would like both of these. I think Inacio is a ready-made replacement for Varane just to come in and take that right-sided centre-back position straight away. But we need a replacement. And I think this guy, Leny Yoro, is absolutely up there as an 18-year-old that can come in and be maybe the second choice for a season or two and then ready to take the mantle. Bring in all the young talent. I'm all for it, says Young Sauce. Oshin says, I can give you 150 million reasons Mbappe went on a free. Nothing to do with Real Madrid changing transfer strategy. Laser says, he's also a starting centre-back for Portugal in the internationals and a better deal than buying a youngster for overpaid money. Inacio can also play left-back if needed and price might drop. There you go. Now, that's the thing, okay? And, the start of that comment there, Laser, is what's very important here. And I'm going to emphasize it an awful lot. Inacio is going to the Euros with Portugal and he is a starting centre-back for them. So is it a good idea for Manchester United to get early business done? It always is. If he goes to the Euros and absolutely tears it up, it's going to add 20 million onto his price tag. So if we can get business done early before the Euros start, or start negotiating at least up until the Euros start and, agree a fee maybe with the club, I think the better it is for Manchester United. And it's all down to getting business done as quickly as possible to try and save a few bob here and there, because we know that money is not going to be flushed for us this summer. And again, you don't want him going and having... Well, you do want him going and having an amazing tournament, but you want to have a transfer fee agreed with his club before he goes and burns it up, hopefully. And that's what I would say on that one. And that's all I got to say about that. Let's see what else people are saying here. Daryl is in. Good to see you. Laser, he's answering that. Rashid is in as well. Good to see you. Sorry, I don't trust INEOS at the moment. Okay, I can't change your mind. I can't change your mind. I love your optimism, Jack. I really hope you're right. Well, look, there's enough negativity on the internet, so let's try and be positive and balance the books a little bit. Go sign Upamecano or De Ligt. Nah. Dylan says we can't just throw Yoro into the team right now. He's not ready. I agree. Chris says, I read that Diamande was only around 25 mil. There we go. Inacio is versatile, can play centre-back or left-back when need be. Let's see. Laser says, yes, it's important we buy him before money goes up. He also wants a Prem move. So when he's ready, we need to move in quickly. And Oshin says, flip side of early business, he goes to the Euros and breaks his tibia. I'm all about the glass half full. Yeah, by the sounds of things, all right, yeah. And Jermaine says, what about Amrabat? Well, look, we mentioned Amrabat last night. There's no real updates in relation to since yesterday. It looks like he wants to stay at United. United haven't made a decision yet. There is interest in him from other clubs. I think some in England and some on the continent as well. So I would like to keep him. I would like to keep him as a squad player. I think he would be a very, very good backup to whoever we bring in at CDM. Let's see. When have we ever had a bad signing from Sporting? There you go. There you go. I like it, Dylan. And Laser says, the other thing I like about Inacio is he's similar style defender as Ruben Diaz. We all know how well Diaz developed when coming to City. I can just imagine us making another copy of that, hopefully. There you go. There you go. Right, guys, want to move it on, and but I do want to keep it on the centre back area at the moment, and we'll go through a couple of quick stories that have surfaced. Again, pinch of salt with some of these. But reports are suggesting that Manchester United have offered Harry Maguire to AC Milan. Manchester United have offered Maguire to AC Milan, according to Milan Press, as the Red Devils look to trim their squad. Let's see. Yeah, we don't need to know all of that. AC Milan in need of defensive reinforcements after Simon Kjaer's departure have been offered Maguire. However, the Rossoneri transfer strategy in recent years has focused on acquiring younger, more affordable talents with potential for growth. This approach raises doubts about Milan's interest in a high-wage, experienced player like Maguire. Milan press notes that it is unclear whether Milan would be interested in taking United up on their offer, reflecting the club's cautious approach to signing players. Look, I think the chances of Harry Maguire going to AC Milan, I think, are quite slim. However, what I'm trying to focus on in this headline and this story is Manchester United, by the looks of things, are still quite willing and wanting to offload Harry Maguire. Now, we do know that a deal was struck with West Ham last summer, and the only reason Maguire didn't move to West Ham is that he was unwilling to cut his wages. United, supposedly, Harry Maguire wanted a payoff from United to leave, which would, make up the balance of him having to drop his wages to go to West Ham. Now, it looks like Manchester United's pursuit of getting rid of Harry Maguire hasn't died down. And look, I've said it on multiple occasions, I think Harry Maguire has had a very good season, and a very good season by his standards, you would say. He's 31 years of age now, and he's not good enough for Manchester United on a consistent basis. And we need to move him on. And more importantly, he is a player currently who has had a good season that we can potentially get decent money for. So I think now is the time for Maguire to move on. I think now is the time for Manchester United to try and move him on while there is some value in the transfer itself. And I think, if it's left another year and we're bringing in a couple of new centre-backs, Maguire's game time is going to be limited. Surely he knows his game time is going to be limited now that we're looking at bringing in one, if not two, centre-backs. So, I think the writing's on the wall for Maguire. I really do. I mean, why would Harry Maguire stay at Manchester United for another season when we are looking at bringing in potentially two centre-backs? He's over the age of 30. From a United standpoint, his value is probably not going to get any better than it is now, given the fact that he had a decent season behind him. And it's quite clear United want him gone because, we had a deal agreed with West Ham last year, and now there's reports coming out that United have offered him to AC Milan. So look, I think Harry Maguire needs to move on, and like I said, he's one of the players that we can potentially get some half decent money for and reinvest that into the rebuild of the squad. So are we going to have another scenario where Harry Maguire digs his heels in and wants to stay? Potentially. He's not going to get the same money anywhere else than he's getting at Man United, and he's entitled to see out his contract if he wants to. But I think for his career and his reputation, it's time to move on. I really do. Let's see. Saw today we were linked with Theo Hernandez as Daryl. I didn't actually see that, Daryl, to be quite honest with you. But as well, another centre-back that is currently at the club is looking like he might actually be getting a new contract. And that is Johnny Evans is a red, is a red, is a red. Johnny Evans is a red. He hates Scousers. For that song alone, I would just give him another 4-year contract rather than a 1-year extension. Look, I mean, I've mentioned Johnny Evans a number of different times. I think we're talking about depth in our squad, okay? Now, there could be a number of reasons here why Johnny Evans could potentially be getting a new deal. And the first one is depth, okay? He's done really, really well for it. He's been our best centre-back for large portions of this season when other centre-backs have been injured. He's played really, really well for us. He's got really good experience. He's a Manchester United Academy graduate. And I think for that reason alone, I think that's reason number one, because you need depth in your squad. And I'm not talking depth in terms of Johnny Evans having to play 20 games next season. I'm talking about using Johnny Evans as, a fifth choice when you're playing in, the FA Cup fourth round away to, Barnsley, or, you're playing the Carabao Cup, whatever the case may be. Second of all, and I was thinking about this today, why are United offering him a new contract or an extension on his current contract? And I think it's probably, or maybe not probably, but is it potentially that we want to maybe put Kambuala out on loan and you want to keep the depth within the squad? So if we're looking at bringing in two centre-backs, okay, let's say we bring in two centre-backs this summer. Let's say we bring in Yoro and Inacio, for example. We've already got Martinez, so that's Yoro, Inacio, Martinez, and then you keep one of Harry Maguire or Lindelof. Let's say it's Lindelof, because Harry Maguire will probably get you more money. So there's 4 centre-backs, okay? You've also got Johnny Evans, who's potentially going to get a new contract. That's 5. And then you can allow maybe Kambuala to go out on loan and get some good game time and get some experience under his belt. Because there is a decent player there. And I think if we're going out and signing 1 or 2 new centre-backs, I think Kambuala's game time will be limited. And he will get more game time if he goes on loan somewhere, maybe in the Championship, maybe to one of the lower teams in the Premier League, an Ipswich or something, for example. So I think that could be one of the reasons why Johnny Evans is maybe going to get another year on his deal. And finally, I think the main reason I would say is that by the looks of things, he's very good in the dressing room. He's a proper pro. He's come through the United Academy, which means he knows what it means. And, everything revolves around what's best for the club. And he'll do a job for you. And I think Erik ten Hag knows that. And I think he trusts him, even though it's one season that he's been here. I think Ten Hag already does trust him. So I wouldn't be, and I've said this before, I wouldn't be against Johnny Evans getting a contract extension. And, that sentence that I said got clipped up and put up on TikTok, and people were laughing. But they thought I was, opposition fans going, look at this lad, look, we're signing, top class 22-year-olds, and this guy wants Johnny Evans' contract renewed. I want Johnny Evans' contract renewed as a last option to play next season, and let him be that pro in the dressing room that sets good examples for the young kids that are there that are coming through. And he'll be 37 soon. So yeah, there you go. Let's see what people are saying here. Rajat says give him 6 more months. Well, there would be no point in that. Why not just give him the season? Oshin says Johnny Evans is there to fill the homegrown quota and play some cup games. Dependable and gives experience off the bench. Couldn't agree more. Laser says, I like Johnny Evans because of his leadership and for me, probably our best centre-back this season while Martinez was out. So keeping him for depth and that voice in the dressing room is right for me. He also says, the only problem is, Jack, if we buy 2 centre-backs, how will Evans fit? I would employ him as a motivational coach instead. Maybe so. Dylan says, Lindelof is shite. Maguire is way better. If I had to choose between one of them, I would keep Maguire. Yes, but neither of them are good enough, Dylan, to start for Manchester United. So I agree with you. And if we're talking about a rebuild and needing money to reinvest back into the squad to get your first choice starting 11 options, then Maguire is the best choice to sell because you'll get more money for Maguire. So, you've got to weigh up the good, the bad, and the Glazers. Oshin says, also Evans would be on comparatively small money. There you go. Absolutely. Jason says, Evans is too old though. He's 37 in January, says Daryl. Jermaine says, I think Ten Hag is going to stay. I hope so. I'm also okay with Jean-Claude Todibo and Trevor Chalobah. There we go. Right, want to move it on, guys. We're sticking with the team of defence, but we're going to move it on now to left back. And Fabrizio Romano had a pretty significant post today on Twitter saying that, if I can get it up here we go, Manchester United will bring in a new left back for sure this summer. As reported in March, Milos Kerkez, one of the players being monitored for that position. No talks yet, but appreciated, obviously, by United. Bournemouth have no intention to make it easy. They'd ask important fee for Kerkez. Now, this guy, obviously, look, playing for Bournemouth, Premier League proven, not a bad left back. Don't know an awful lot about him, if I'm being quite honest with you. But if we're looking at, what he done this season in the Premier League, you're talking about 33 games played in all competitions. He has 1 assist. 8 of them 33 games he's come off the bench, so started quite a lot. 11 he has been substituted. If we're looking at his stats, we're talking about the percentiles and whereabouts he is in terms of other fullbacks in the big 5 leagues in Europe. He doesn't stand out. He doesn't stand out. I won't lie. If we're looking at, the two maybe standout, areas would be blocks and clearances, which he's in the 73 percentile for and the 75th percentile for clearances. Aerials 1, he's in the bottom half. He seems to be small enough. Tackles 61 percentile. If we're looking at a fee, at the moment, according to transfermarket.co.uk, you're looking at 20 million euros. Now, that's probably gone up, to be honest with you. As soon as Manchester United are interested in a player, the price goes up. And Fabrizio Romano, I said here, Bournemouth have no intention to make it easy. They'd ask important fee for Kerkez. So, I don't know enough about this guy to know whether is he coming in to replace Luke Shaw? Is he coming in to replace Malacia? Or is he coming in simply to provide competition? If he's coming in to provide competition for Luke Shaw, then it's probably curtains for Malacia. And if he's coming in, I don't see why, unless we are looking at selling Luke Shaw. I don't think we will be, because if you sell Luke Shaw, are you really going to go in to a Premier League campaign with Kerkez and Malacia as your 2 left backs? I don't think we are. I think that would be very strange and naive. If this guy comes in, if United are going for a left back, it's probably going to be Malacia that leaves, in my opinion. I don't see us getting rid of Luke Shaw this summer. I think it will probably get rid of him maybe next summer. I would probably say you're looking at... I would want somebody to come in at left back that can really, really, really challenge Luke Shaw at left back. Is Kerkez going to do it? I don't know. To be quite honest with you. My first thoughts would be no, he won't. But... who am I to say? I think the left back area, while I've been saying this for weeks and weeks now, I think we can get one more season out of Shaw and Malacia together. I know last year was horrendous for both of them in terms of their injuries, but you would hope that Malacia and his injury was a one-off. He's not injury prone. We know Luke Shaw can be injury prone, but I think if you're asking me to prioritise, left back would not be a priority for me. And I would prioritise the spine of the team, like I've said before. So let's see what happens when it comes to this guy. But yeah, I'd be unsure what he would be coming in for. Oshin says, but Luke Shaw is fit for the Euro. Surely we don't need a left back a left full with his Lazarus-style recovery. There we go. I know. Dylan says, if we're getting a left back, Shaw should be sold. Laser says, I like the sounds of Kerkez. I said it when we played Bournemouth this season. He's fantastic on the ball. His interceptions are fantastic and has the pace. I would say yes to this deal 100%. He also says, I think we should sell Malacia. I know it will turn to a waste, but I would rather sell him, get money, and buy a new left back to challenge for Shaw, because he won't be around forever. Well, the thing about Malacia is we got him for so cheap that, if we sell Malacia for 15 million, we're going to make money on him. So, yeah, I think it's probably... Darryl says, I'd sell Shaw, cash in. Okay. Maybe left back and kick Shaw inside. Yeah, well, that certainly is an option. Look, you would hope that Martinez is not going to have the injury plague season this upcoming season that he did last season. And if Martinez stays fit, nobody is going in there. Certainly not Luke Shaw. But yeah. Let's see. Jason says, sell Shaw and Malacia, both no good. Bring 2 new left backs in. Yeah, it's too much business to get done though. That's the issue with that. I don't see all of that happening in the one transfer window, I'm afraid. Now, smash the like button, guys, if you haven't already done so. Helps the channel out an awful lot. Please do smash that like button. If you are new to the channel, do hit the subscribe button as well. Like I said, we're on the road to 10,000 subscribers. I think we're about 90 to go. About 90 subscribers left to 10,000. Make sure you check out the merch as well, guys. I'm working on a new Roy Keane design at the moment. I think you're going to like it. So if you haven't already checked out the merchandise, scan the QR code or the link is in the description. Use the code UCC at checkout for 10% off as well. And as well, make sure you are subscribing to our second channel, Football Community Channel. All of the watch-alongs for the Euros are going to be on over there. So again, scan the QR code or the link is in the description of the video again. Appreciate it as always. Now, couple of small bits to get through before we finish up. Supposedly, Casemiro has already said his goodbyes to his Manchester United teammates, and he will leave this summer, with Saudi Arabia being the primary destination for him by the looks of things. And look, it's not a major update on Casemiro. We've spoken about him, in depth over the past couple of weeks, and I think it's time for him to go. I really do. I really like Casemiro, I have to say it. Now, look, I know his performances this season weren't good, but, he scored a goal in the Carabao Cup final. He scored some really important goals for his last season when he was playing well. And, it's a shame his performances have dropped so drastically, in the season just gone, because I would have liked to seen him there for another year, and bring in a young CDM to learn off him, the likes of João. Could you imagine João Neves coming in and Casemiro, and both of them, on the training pitch together day in, day out, and what Neves could learn from Casemiro? It would be a huge advantage for us to have. It really, really would. But it does look like he's going to go, and like we said, Saudi Arabia is the most likely destination and the one that we can get the most money out of. Now, we heard silly money, 90 million, was it last week? That's gone away very quickly. But the figures have been hovering around 50 to 60 million that are being quoted, and that Saudi Arabia could potentially offer for him. And, I mean, that's brilliant. I mean, if we could get even 50 million back on the 60 million we paid and getting 2 years out of him, it would be absolutely fantastic and really, really beneficial to us going in to the summer transfer window in terms of, being able to buy players. But it does look like he's going to leave. Rajat says, have you got a Cristiano Ronaldo hoodie? I don't, not yet. I'm working on some designs at the moment. I'm nearly finished the Roy Keane one. Check it out. But we've got Garnacho ones, we've got Chicharito, we've got Giggs, we've got Cantona, we've got the normal UCC, United Community Channel merch, mugs, phone cases, hoodies, t-shirts, all that kind of stuff. Go check it out. This guy, Jadon Sancho. Jadon Sancho is not a priority transfer for Borussia Dortmund. Oh no. They have a summer budget of 60 to 65 million, but will only ask Manchester United for another loan. We spoke about this. We spoke about this last night, and I said the chances of Sancho actually going on a permanent deal in the summer is quite low. And this proves it. You know, the only club that's interested in Sancho at the moment is Dortmund, and they don't even want to buy him on a permanent deal. They want to get him again on loan. Now, again, like I said last night, the terms of a loan, if Sancho is going to go again to Dortmund for another year, the terms of this loan have to be with an obligation to buy, and they have to pay his wages. If they don't pay his wages, you know, and if, like, I'm talking minimum 80%, you know, then just bring him back and let him rot in the youth setup, to be honest with you, because I don't want this lad anywhere near Manchester United unless he apologises to Erik ten Hag. And even if he does that, I still wouldn't be too happy with him. I wouldn't be cheering him running onto the pitch at Old Trafford, that's for sure. But look, I mean, let me know what you guys think about Sancho. I've made my thoughts, you know, quite clear about it. They say that only because they want another loan, says Chris. Laser says, Sancho needs to go. I'm sick of us keeping around players who don't give a shit about the shirt. Like Sancho, I'd release him or another loan if we can't get anything because his wages are a joke. We have to realise, says Chris, no one but Saudi Arabia will bail us out on Sancho. I think you're right there. Loan option to buy 45 million and 80% wages by Sancho. Absolutely, I agree. Anthony says, what's the news on Anselmino? Don't have any news on it, I'm afraid, my friend. No updates as of yet. And finally, guys, I do want to just talk quickly about Erik ten Hag. Jamie Jackson has been speaking today. He says Manchester United's end of season review and decision over Erik ten Hag's future will not go beyond this week. So we should know by the end of the week whether Erik ten Hag... Oh, there's the little man crying now. So yeah, that's my cue to exit. We'll know by the end of the week, according to Jamie Jackson, whether Erik ten Hag will be staying at Manchester United or not. And other than that, there's no real update. But Erik ten Hag in for me. It has to be said. Chris is saying the same. Erik ten Hag in. I think 90+% of the fan base are wanting ten Hag to stay. And yeah, me too. But guys, look, we'll leave it there. Thanks for watching. Please do smash a like on the video if you haven't done so. Hit subscribe if you're new. Like I said, less than 100 away from 10,000 subscribers. Subscribe to the second channel for all of the Euros watch-alongs over there, Football Community channel. Link in the description. And as well, like I said, the merchandise. Use the code UCC at checkout for 10% off. Link is in the description. Thanks for watching. Like I said, I'll be back again tomorrow night with more transfer news for you. Thanks for watching. Have a great evening, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take it easy.